Hey everyone! Today we're diving into one of the most audacious industrial transformations in modern business history. Picture this. You're standing in an empty, cavernous factory in Fremont, California in 2010. The silence is deafening. Weeds are growing through cracks in the parking lot. This isn't just any abandoned facility. This is the graveyard of what was once General Motors' crown jewel, later Toyota's American manufacturing pride. For decades, this 5.3 million square foot complex churned out millions of vehicles. Now, it's a ghost town that industry experts are calling cursed, unsellable, a monument to American manufacturing's decline. But you're not alone in this eerie industrial cathedral. Walking beside you is a South African entrepreneur with an impossible dream and a habit of proving skeptics wrong. Elon Musk sees something that everyone else missed. While others see failure, he sees opportunity. While others see an outdated relic, he sees the birthplace of the electric vehicle revolution. You're about to witness him make a $42 million gamble that will either cement his reputation as a visionary or destroy him completely. What makes this story absolutely fascinating is how it mirrors the greatest industrial pivots in history. Just like Henry Ford transformed a Detroit workshop into the assembly line empire, or how Steve Jobs turned a garage startup into Apple's ecosystem. You're rewatching Musk attempt something that seems impossible, building a car company from scratch in an industry where startups traditionally go to die. The last successful American car startup before Tesla? That was Chrysler in 1925. Let that sink in for a moment. Here's what most people miss about this acquisition. Musk wasn't just buying a factory. He was buying time, infrastructure, and most importantly, credibility. Starting a car company requires enormous capital, years of regulatory approval, and supply chain relationships that take decades to build. By purchasing this existing facility, complete with paint shops, stamping equipment, and even some of the specialized tooling, Musk was essentially buying a shortcut to legitimacy. You're watching him play business chess while everyone else is playing checkers. The facility itself tells an incredible story of American industrial evolution. Built in 1962 by General Motors, it represented the peak of American automotive dominance. This wasn't just a factory, it was a small city. At its height, 10,000 workers clocked in daily, producing Chevrolet Camaros, Pontiac Firebirds, and other American muscle cars that defined generations. The complex included its own fire department, medical facilities, and even a test track. You're standing in a place where American automotive dreams were literally manufactured. But by 2009, those dreams had soured. The financial crisis devastated the automotive industry, and GM's bankruptcy forced the closure of multiple facilities. The Fremont plant became collateral damage in corporate America's restructuring. When Toyota partnered with GM to reopen it as NUMMI, they brought Japanese efficiency principles to American soil. For 25 years, this hybrid approach worked brilliantly, producing some of the most reliable vehicles on American roads. Then came 2010's devastating blow. Toyota announced NUMMI's closure, citing the challenging business environment and their strategic shift toward other facilities. Suddenly, you're looking at 4,700 lost jobs and a community devastated by industrial abandonment. Local politicians scrambled for solutions. Economic development agencies pitched the facility to traditional manufacturers. Everyone wanted to save this industrial landmark, but nobody could make the economics work. Enter Elon Musk with a proposal that sounds like science fiction. He wants to transform this temple of internal combustion engines into the world's most advanced electric vehicle factory. The audacity is breathtaking. Tesla has never mass-produced a single car. They're a startup burning through cash with a single product, the Roadster, that costs $100,000 and is essentially a hobby for wealthy environmentalists. Industry veterans are openly laughing at this proposal. If you're enjoying this deep dive into business history, please hit that like button and subscribe for more fascinating entrepreneurial stories. I'd love to hear what modern business lessons you think apply from this era. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. But here's where Musk's genius becomes apparent, and it's a lesson every modern entrepreneur needs to understand. He's not just thinking about manufacturing cars, he's reimagining manufacturing itself. You witnessing the birth of what will become known as the machine that builds the machine. While traditional automakers view factories as necessary overhead, Musk sees the factory as the ultimate product. He's about to prove that revolutionary products require revolutionary production methods. Now, let's step back in time and explore how this impossible gamble was really made, and why everyone thought Elon Musk had finally bitten off more than he could chew. You're now inside the Tesla factory in 2012, and what you're witnessing defies everything you thought you knew about car manufacturing. The transformation is mind-blowing. Where Toyota once methodically assembled Corollas and Tacomas using proven, incremental processes, you watching Musk unleash a manufacturing revolution that looks more like a choreographed dance between humans and machines than traditional assembly. Picture this. You standing on the factory floor as massive orange robots, affectionately named after X-Men characters like Wolverine and Storm, perform an industrial ballet. These aren't your grandfather's factory robots that simply welded two pieces together. You're watching artificially intelligent machines that can switch between tasks, learn from mistakes, and adapt to different vehicle configurations in real time. It's like witnessing the birth of manufacturing consciousness. What's fascinating is how Musk approached this transformation. Traditional automakers would have gutted the facility and rebuilt everything from scratch, spending billions and taking years. Instead, you're watching him implement what business strategists now call intelligent adaptation. He kept Toyota's excellent paint facilities and basic infrastructure, but completely reimagined the assembly process. You seeing the physical manifestation of his core philosophy. Why accept industry standards when you can rewrite the rules entirely? The Model S production line you're observing represents a fundamental shift in manufacturing thinking. Traditional car companies design vehicles around existing manufacturing capabilities. They ask, what can our current factories build efficiently? You're watching Tesla flip this equation completely. Musk designed the perfect car first, then built the manufacturing process to create it. This reverse engineering approach would become Tesla's secret weapon and inspire countless other industries to rethink their production paradigms. Here's what most people miss about this transformation. Musk wasn't just installing robots, he was creating a learning organization. Every machine, every process, every workstation was designed to collect data and continuously improve. You're witnessing the birth of what experts now call Industry 4.0, where factories become giant computers that optimize themselves. Amazon's fulfillment centers, Apple's iPhone assembly, even McDonald's automated kitchens, they all trace their DNA back to innovations you're seeing pioneered right here. The vertical integration strategy you're observing is particularly revolutionary. While other automakers outsourced everything possible to reduce costs, you're watching Tesla bring critical components in-house. They're manufacturing their own seats, batteries, even some semiconductors. This isn't just about control, it's about speed and innovation. When you control every aspect of production, you can iterate and improve at unprecedented velocity. But the real genius becomes apparent when you examine the flexibility being built into these systems. Traditional auto plants are designed for single-model production. Retooling for a new vehicle typically requires months of downtime and millions in equipment changes. You're watching Tesla create modular manufacturing cells that can switch between Model S sedans, Model X SUVs, and future vehicles with minimal disruption. It's like watching them build manufacturing Lego blocks that can be reconfigured on demand. The quality control systems you're observing represent another paradigm shift. Instead of catching defects at the end of the line, the traditional approach, every robot and workstation is equipped with sensors that detect issues in real time. You're seeing the implementation of predictive quality, where problems are prevented rather than corrected. This approach would later influence everything from software development to pharmaceutical manufacturing. Here's where it gets interesting. The human workers you re-watching aren't being replaced by automation, they being augmented by it. Tesla's approach creates what management experts call collaborative intelligence. You're seeing workers equipped with tablets that display real-time instructions, robots that hand them perfectly positioned parts, and systems that learn from human expertise to improve automated processes. This human-machine partnership model would become the blueprint for modern manufacturing across countless industries. The paint shop transformation is particularly stunning. You're watching robots apply multiple coats with precision that human painters could never achieve, while AI systems monitor color consistency and finish quality in real time. But more importantly, you're seeing environmental innovation that reduces water usage by 70% and eliminates toxic volatile organic compounds. Musk is proving that revolutionary manufacturing can also be responsible manufacturing. The supply chain integration you're observing is equally groundbreaking. Instead of the traditional approach where suppliers deliver parts weeks or months in advance, you're watching just-in-time delivery choreographed by AI systems. Trucks arrive precisely when their components are needed, reducing inventory costs and improving cash flow. This logistics innovation would later influence everything from grocery delivery to emergency medical supplies. What makes this transformation even more remarkable is the speed of implementation. Traditional automakers take 3 to 5 years to retool a factory. You're watching Tesla achieve this revolutionary transformation in less than 2 years while simultaneously ramping production. It's like watching someone rebuild an airplane while flying it, a feat that should be impossible but somehow works. The data collection systems you're observing represent the factory's nervous system. Every weld, every paint application, every quality check generates data that feeds back into continuous improvement algorithms. You're witnessing the birth of the self-optimizing factory, where each car built teaches the system how to build the next one better, faster, and cheaper. This isn't just manufacturing innovation. You re-watching the creation of a competitive moat that traditional automakers still struggle to cross. The combination of vertical integration, AI-driven quality control, flexible production systems, and continuous learning creates advantages that compound over time. Every day of operation makes Tesla's manufacturing capabilities stronger while making it harder for competitors to catch up. You're now witnessing one of the most brutal corporate survival stories in modern business history. It's mid-2018, and the Tesla factory that seemed so revolutionary just months ago has become a pressure cooker threatening to explode. You re-watching Elon Musk experience what he would later call production hell, a nightmarish period where Tesla's ambitious manufacturing dreams collided with harsh reality, and the company's survival hung by a thread. The numbers are terrifying. Tesla has promised investors and customers that they'll produce 5,000 Model 3 vehicles per week by the end of Q2 2018. It sounds reasonable until you realize they're currently struggling to build 2,000 cars per week, and each production shortfall burns through millions in cash. You rewatching a company with barely 60 days of operating capital left racing against time to prove their manufacturing revolution actually works. The automotive graveyard is littered with ambitious startups that couldn't scale production, and Tesla is dangerously close to joining them. What's fascinating is how this crisis exposes the hidden complexity of manufacturing at scale. Those elegant robots you watched in the previous section, they're now struggling with what engineers call the ramp. Moving from building 1,000 cars per month to 20,000 cars per month isn't just about speed, it's about reliability, consistency, and solving thousands of micro-problems that only emerge at volume. You're witnessing the brutal reality that building one perfect car is engineering, but building 5,000 perfect cars every week is an entirely different discipline. The bottlenecks you're observing reveal fundamental flaws in Tesla's initial approach. Remember those sophisticated automation systems? They're breaking down constantly. Robots that worked flawlessly in controlled tests are jamming when faced with slight variations in parts. The AI systems designed to optimize production are creating optimization loops that actually slow everything down. You rewatching Musk confront a humbling truth. Sometimes the most advanced solution isn't the most reliable solution. Here's where it gets interesting, and this lesson applies to every modern business facing scaling challenges. You re-witnessing Musk make a decision that shocks the manufacturing world. He is ripping out millions of dollars worth of automated systems and replacing them with human workers. The man who built his reputation on automation is admitting that sometimes human adaptability beats robotic precision. It's like watching Jeff Bezos abandon algorithms for handwritten inventory lists, a complete reversal of core philosophy. But you're not just watching retreat, you're witnessing evolution. The tent assembly line that Musk hastily constructs in the parking lot becomes a masterclass in agile manufacturing. Using a philosophy borrowed from software development, he's creating rapid prototyping for physical production. Workers can experiment with line configurations, test process improvements, and implement changes in hours rather than months. This temporary solution teaches Tesla more about efficient production than years of theoretical optimization. The sleep on the factory floor period you're observing has become legendary in entrepreneurial circles. But here's what most people miss. Musk isn't just showing dedication, he is implementing what management experts call Gemba leadership. By physically positioning himself at the point of production, he's able to identify bottlenecks, understand worker challenges, and make decisions in real time. You're watching him demonstrate that in crisis situations, proximity to problems beats analysis paralysis. The supplier crisis you're witnessing reveals another critical business lesson. Tesla's vertical integration strategy, which seemed brilliant during good times, becomes a liability during the ramp. When internal battery production can't keep pace, there's no backup supplier to call. When the paint shop experiences quality issues, there's no alternative facility. You, rewatching Musk, learned that vertical integration requires redundancy planning, a lesson that would reshape Tesla's future manufacturing strategy. What makes this period particularly instructive is how Tesla handles the cash crisis. Traditional companies facing production shortfalls typically slow down to preserve cash. You're watching Tesla do the opposite. They're accelerating spending to solve production problems faster. It's like watching a poker player go all in with a mediocre hand, except the stakes are the company's existence. This aggressive approach to crisis management would later influence how tech companies handle scaling challenges. The quality control compromises you're observing tell a sobering story about startup manufacturing. Desperate to hit production targets, Tesla is shipping cars with panel gaps, paint imperfections, and software glitches that would never pass traditional automotive standards. You, rewatching them, essentially turn customers into beta testers, a strategy that works in software but creates massive warranty costs in hardware. This painful lesson would force Tesla to completely rethink their quality processes. Here's what's truly remarkable: the worker dedication you're witnessing during this crisis. Despite brutal hours, constant changes, and intense pressure, factory employees are pulling 12-hour shifts and coming in on weekends voluntarily. You're seeing how crisis can create extraordinary team unity when leadership is visibly sharing the pain. This cultural element becomes one of Tesla's most valuable assets and influences how other companies approach change management. The media narrative you're watching unfold is equally instructive. Every production miss becomes front-page news. Short sellers are betting billions against Tesla's survival. Industry experts are publicly predicting bankruptcy. You're witnessing how external pressure can either crush a company or forge it into something stronger. Musk's decision to maintain transparency about production struggles, rather than hiding them, builds credibility that pays dividends later. The breakthrough moment you're reapproaching isn't just about hitting 5,000 cars per week. It's about proving that revolutionary companies can survive their own revolution. The lessons learned during production hell would influence everything from SpaceX's rocket manufacturing to countless other startups attempting hardware scaling. You're watching the creation of a new playbook for surviving manufacturing crises in the modern economy. You're now standing in the same factory where this incredible journey began, but everything has changed. It's 2024, and the abandoned Toyota plant that Elon Musk bought for $42 million is now the crown jewel of a manufacturing empire worth over $800 billion. You're re-witnessing one of the most spectacular industrial transformations in business history, a story that proves how betting on revolutionary technology, surviving brutal scaling challenges, and refusing to accept industry limitations can create generational wealth. The production numbers you're observing are staggering. This facility that once struggled to build 2,000 cars per week is now effortlessly producing over 15,000 vehicles weekly across multiple model lines. But here's what makes this achievement truly remarkable. They're doing it with higher quality, lower costs, and greater environmental efficiency than any traditional automaker has ever achieved. You're watching the physical manifestation of how exponential thinking beats incremental improvement every time. The ripple effects you're witnessing extend far beyond automotive manufacturing. Tesla's innovations at this facility have influenced industries you'd never expect. The real-time quality control systems. They're now standard in electronics manufacturing. The flexible production lines. Food companies use similar concepts for customized nutrition products. The AI-driven optimization. Everyone from furniture makers to pharmaceutical companies has adopted variations. You're seeing how one company's manufacturing revolution can reshape entire sectors of the global economy. What's fascinating is how the lessons learned during production hell created Tesla's competitive advantages. Those painful months when Musk slept on the factory floor weren't just about survival. They were about discovering principles that traditional automakers still don't understand. You're watching a company that learned to iterate at software speed while building hardware products. When competitors take 18 months to implement a manufacturing improvement, Tesla does it in 18 days. The supplier ecosystem you're observing represents another revolutionary achievement. Remember how Tesla's early vertical integration created vulnerabilities during the crisis? Now you're seeing how they've created what economists call strategic interdependence. Tesla manufactures the most critical components in-house while building deep partnerships for everything else. It's like watching them create a manufacturing nervous system where they control the brain while collaborating with specialized organs. Here's where it gets really interesting. The talent magnet effect you're witnessing. This facility has become a pilgrimage site for manufacturing engineers, robotics experts, and production specialists from around the world. The best minds in industrial engineering want to work here because they know they'll learn techniques that don't exist anywhere else. You're watching Tesla create a virtuous cycle where attracting top talent accelerates innovation, which attracts even better talent. The environmental impact you're observing tells an equally compelling story. This factory that once symbolized traditional manufacturing's environmental costs has become a showcase for sustainable production. Solar panels cover the roof, providing clean energy. Water recycling systems eliminate waste. Even the parking lots are designed to capture rainwater. You're seeing how revolutionary companies can prove that profitability and environmental responsibility aren't opposing forces, they're multiplying factors. The data insights generated by this facility represent perhaps the most valuable asset you're witnessing. Every car built here generates thousands of data points that feed back into Tesla's global manufacturing network. When the Shanghai factory encounters a quality issue, the Fremont facility's experience provides the solution. When the Berlin factory optimizes a process, every Tesla facility benefits immediately. You're watching the creation of a global manufacturing brain that learns and improves continuously. But the most remarkable transformation you're observing is cultural. This facility has become the training ground for Tesla's global expansion. Engineers who master production here go on to launch factories in China, Germany, and Texas. The manufacturing philosophies developed in this converted Toyota plant are now being replicated on 4 continents. You're witnessing how one facility's innovations can scale to influence global manufacturing patterns. The financial returns you're seeing validate every risk Musk took during those terrifying early years. That $42 million investment has generated hundreds of billions in value, but more importantly, it's created manufacturing capabilities that competitors still can't match. Traditional automakers are spending tens of billions trying to replicate what Tesla achieved in this single facility. You're watching how first-mover advantages and revolutionary technologies can create decades of competitive protection. The supply chain resilience you're observing became crucial during global disruptions. When COVID-19 shuttered factories worldwide, Tesla's vertical integration and flexible manufacturing systems allowed them to maintain production while competitors struggled. When semiconductor shortages crippled the auto industry, Tesla's software-first approach let them redesign products around available chips. You're seeing how revolutionary thinking during good times creates survival advantages during crises. The innovation pipeline you're witnessing continues accelerating. The factory floor now serves as a testing ground for next-generation manufacturing technologies that will influence Tesla's Cybertruck production, their humanoid robot development, and even SpaceX's rocket manufacturing. You're watching how manufacturing excellence in one domain creates capabilities that can revolutionize completely different industries. What makes this transformation even more impressive is the speed of replication. The manufacturing innovations developed here have been successfully deployed in Tesla's newer facilities in record time. The Shanghai factory went from groundbreaking to production in less than a year. The Berlin and Texas facilities incorporated lessons that took years to learn in Fremont. You're witnessing how capturing institutional knowledge can dramatically accelerate global expansion. The workforce development you're observing represents another lasting legacy. Thousands of employees who learned revolutionary manufacturing techniques here have gone on to spread these innovations throughout the industry. Some have joined other companies, some have started their own manufacturing businesses, and some have become consultants helping traditional companies modernize. You're watching how one facility's innovations can influence an entire generation of manufacturing professionals. The transformation of Tesla's Fremont factory teaches us 3 fundamental business lessons that apply to every industry today. First, revolutionary outcomes require revolutionary thinking. Incremental improvements within existing frameworks will never create breakthrough advantages. Second, survival during scaling crises requires leaders who stay physically and emotionally close to problems rather than managing from conference rooms. Third, competitive advantages compound over time when companies treat their operations as learning systems rather than static processes. Modern entrepreneurs can apply these insights immediately. Whether you're scaling a software startup, launching a service business, or building physical products, the principles remain constant. Invest in flexible systems that can adapt quickly. Embrace vertical integration for your most critical capabilities, and treat every operational challenge as an opportunity to build competitive moats. The key is thinking exponentially about improvement while remaining maniacally focused on execution details. As manufacturing becomes increasingly automated and AI-driven, which traditional industries do you think are most vulnerable to Tesla-style disruption? Will we see similar manufacturing revolutions in aerospace construction or even food production? The story of Tesla's factory transformation suggests that any industry built on century-old assumptions might be ripe for complete reimagining.